Peace be upon you, my friend. I am Sheikh Yusuf, the Life Strategist, and today we are going to dive into a topic that is deeply uncomfortable. Perhaps the most painful lesson a man of substance must learn, but it is the absolute prerequisite for your financial and spiritual survival. The law of the hidden pregnancy and the reality of provision theft. You have a dream. You have a vision for a business, a major investment, or a total transformation of your life. You are excited, and naturally, you want to share this excitement with the people who share your blood. You sit down at a family dinner, or you pick up the phone to call a cousin, a sibling, or a parent, and you spill the details of your next move. You expect support. You expect a blessing. But instead, what do you receive? You receive a subtle look of doubt. You receive a warning disguised as concern. You receive a silent energy that feels like a weight being placed on your chest. And within 48 hours, your enthusiasm has evaporated. Your ideas feel heavy. The luck that seemed to be flowing toward you suddenly stops. This is not a coincidence. You have just been the victim of provision theft. In the ancient teachings, the timeless wisdom that governed the great merchant dynasties of the East, there is a profound understanding of the law of order and consequence. These wise men knew that blood does not always mean alignment. They knew that a man's greatest enemies are often the members of his own household, not because they are evil in the traditional sense, but because they are vibrating at a frequency of fear, competition, or stagnation. Today I'm going to identify the 3 specific types of relatives that you must never under any circumstances allow into the sanctuary of your future plans. If you tell them what you are building before the fortress is complete, you are handing them the keys to your destruction. This is not about being unkind, it is about being a strategist for your own legacy. You have a fiduciary duty to the provision that has been assigned to you. If you allow it to be stolen by the wrong ears, you are failing your assignment. Let us begin with the first category of relative, the fearful authority. This is often a parent, an uncle, or an elder who truly believes they love you. But listen to me closely. Their love is a cage built from the bricks of their own past failures. They spent 40 years working a job they hated for a paycheck that barely sustained them. They have been conditioned to believe that the world is a dangerous place and that safety is the highest virtue. When you tell them you are starting a venture or taking a calculated risk, you are unintentionally attacking their entire worldview. If you succeed, it proves that their 40 years of playing it safe was a mistake. Subconsciously, they cannot allow that to be true. So they hit you with the biological tax of doubt. Are you sure? What if you lose everything? Most businesses fail in the first year. These are not just words, they are anchors. Because you respect them, their words enter your subconscious at a deeper level than a stranger's would. They are using their authority to audit your dream before it has even been born. In the ancient path, we learn that a pregnancy must be kept hidden until it is visible to all. If you tell a fearful authority about your embryo, their fear acts as a restrictive force. It creates a closeness in the environment that prevents the provision from expanding. You must honor them with your presence and your care, but you must never honor them with your plans. Let them see the palace once it is finished. Never show them the blueprints while the ground is still being broken. The second category is even more toxic. The competitive contemporary. This is the sibling or the cousin who is roughly your age. They measure their own worth by where they stand in relation to you. If you are both struggling, you are brothers. But the moment you begin to climb the mountain of sustained provision, you are a threat to their ego. When you tell them your plans, you are triggering the eye of judgment. They aren't listening to your idea, they are calculating how much further ahead of them you will be if it works. This creates an immediate energy leakage. In the realm of the life strategist, we know that 2 people can look at the same object and change its frequency. If you are looking at your business with the energy of increase, but your cousin is looking at it with the energy of, I hope he doesn't get too big, a conflict is created in the atmosphere of your work. You will find that things start to break. Technology fails. People quit. Money gets stuck. This is the law of environmental sabotage. These relatives will use the sling of sarcasm to diminish your vision. And to, oh, you're going to be the next big thing now? Don't forget us, little people. This is a spiritual strike designed to lower your frequency. They want to pull you back into the crab bucket where everyone is equally miserable. You must realize that your growth requires a new environment. If you continue to seek validation from people who are competing with you, you will never have the ordered flow necessary for true wealth. Keep your wins a secret. Let them think you are still struggling alongside them. It is an act of mercy to keep them in the dark so their envy doesn't destroy your provision. The third category is the most subtle, the stagnant dependent. This is the relative who relies on you, either emotionally or financially, to be exactly who you are right now. They are comfortable with your current level of success because it is predictable. They fear your growth because they know that a man who grows eventually changes his boundaries. They worry that if you become truly wealthy and disciplined, you will no longer tolerate their chaos or their laziness. So they quietly dampen your fire. Every time you speak of a new plan, they remind you of a past mistake. They bring up the old you. They try to anchor you to your previous identity. Remember when you tried that other thing and it didn't work? This is a direct attack on your biological capital. To build wealth, you must have the energy of a new man. You must slay the version of yourself that was broke and undisciplined. But the stagnant dependent keeps the corpse of the old you in the room. They refuse to let the dead version of you stay buried. You cannot build a new empire while hosting the ghosts of your past. These relatives will drain your time with their self-inflicted emergencies precisely when you need to be focusing on your next move. It is a form of unconscious sabotage. They need you to stay small so they don't feel left behind. You must recognize that your assignment is to provide a legacy, and you cannot build a legacy while being a life raft for people who refuse to learn how to swim. Stop telling them your plans. They do not have the architecture to support your vision. Let us discuss the mechanics of the hidden pregnancy in the context of the merchant's life. In the ancient desert trade, a merchant would never announce the contents of his caravan to anyone outside his trusted inner circle, especially not to relatives who might have leaky mouths. If the word got out that he was carrying gold and spices, he became a target for the scavengers. Your thoughts are your gold. Your plans are your spices. By speaking them out loud to unaligned relatives, you are broadcasting your value to the scavengers. Even if they don't consciously try to rob you, they attract the energy of the robbery. They tell a friend who tells a friend, and suddenly the eye of judgment is focused on you from 100 different directions. This creates a clutter in the unseen realm that blocks your sustained provision. Wealth requires a clear channel. It requires a direct, unpolluted line between your discipline and the infinite's response. When you introduce the noise of a relative's doubt, you are creating static on the line. I have sat with men who were on the verge of making $100,000 in a single month, a breakthrough they had worked 5 years to achieve. In their excitement, they told a fearful authority figure in their family. That elder, out of love, told them to be careful and don't get your hopes too high. That man's energy dropped instantly. He went from a state of ordered certainty to a state of hesitant doubt. That hesitation was felt by his clients. The deal evaporated. The relative stole the provision with a single sentence. This is why I'm so firm with you. Silence is not just a virtue, it is a defensive weapon. You must treat your plans like an embryo in the womb. It needs a dark, quiet, and protected place to develop its bones and its heart. If you expose it too early, it will be a miscarriage. To dominate the marketplace and build a life of substance, you must implement the protocol of the sealed gate. For the next 90 days, you will practice absolute concealment with your family. When they ask how is work, you will use the deflection protocol. You will say, "Glory to the provider, we are busy with the daily tasks. Everything is in order." Do not give them details. Do not give them numbers. Do not give them the name of the deal. You are protecting the frequency of the work. You will notice a strange thing happen. When you stop seeking their validation, you suddenly have more energy. You have more biological capital. This is because you are no longer spending your vision by talking about it. You are compressing the energy of the vision until it has no choice but to manifest as action. Talking is a release valve for the steam of your drive. If you keep the valve closed, the pressure will push you to work harder, think sharper, and move faster. Relatives are often the biggest release valves because we feel a biological need to be seen by them. You must kill that need. Your only validation should come from the results in your bank account and the peace in your soul. The life strategist is a man who can sit at a table full of people and be the only one who knows that he is about to become a millionaire. That is true power. That is sovereignty. Most people are reactionary. They need everyone to know they are winning so they can feel like they are winning. But the man of substance knows that the less people know, the more he can grow. I knew a merchant in the great cities of the north who was worth more than all his brothers combined, yet when he visited them, he wore simple clothes and spoke only of the weather and the price of grain. They thought he was doing okay because they didn't envy him, they didn't project the eye of judgment toward him. His wealth grew uninterrupted for 30 years. He understood that the law of consequence is triggered by attention. By staying below the radar, he maintained his ordered abundance. He didn't need their applause. He needed their silence. You must become a ghost in your own family when it comes to your finances. Let them love you for who you are, not for what you are building. This protects them from the sin of envy and protects you from the weight of their judgment. It is an act of supreme strategy and supreme kindness. Let us also speak on the law of the anchor. A ship cannot move if the anchor is still in the mud. Relatives who are content with mediocrity are anchors. They don't want you to sail because it proves that the ocean is navigable. If you stay in the harbor with them, they feel safe. The moment you pull up the anchor and set sail for the horizon of sustained provision, they feel the tug of the chain. They will try to reel you back using the ropes of loyalty and tradition. But you must remember, your primary loyalty is to the assignment the Creator gave you. He did not give you a vision so you could stay in the harbor and rot with the anchors. He gave you a vision so you could bring back a harvest that sustains the entire lineage. But you cannot bring back the harvest if you never leave the dock. To leave the dock, you must stop telling the anchors where you are going. They will only tell you the sea is too deep. They will only tell you the storms are too strong. They are not lying to them. The sea is too deep because they have no ship. But you are building a vessel. Trust your architecture. Trust your discipline. Trust the ancient teachings. I want you to go into the comments right now and write these words: I protect the pregnancy. By writing that, you are committing to the law of silence. You are telling your ego that its hunger for family likes is over. You are entering the realm of the life strategist. Subscribe to this channel because next week I am going to teach you the protocol of the hidden vault, how to structure your assets so that no eye can audit your true strength. Do not be like the fool who brags about his gold in a room full of thieves and then wonders why he wakes up empty-handed. Be a strategist. Guard your threshold. Seal your lips. The infinite provides for the ordered, and the first order is the order of your own mouth. I have seen men lose the opportunity of a lifetime because they told a competitive contemporary about a deal, and that contemporary out of concern called the seller and poisoned the well. This is not a ghost story, it is a merchant's reality. People will sabotage you simply to keep the status quo. Do not give them the chance. Build in the dark. Launch in the light. And when they finally see your success, they will say, how did he do it? He was just here with us. And you will smile. And you will say, glory to the provider. And you will keep your secrets. Your soul is the blueprint, and your life is the construction. Peace be upon you, my friend. Go to your family today. Be kind, be helpful, but be a closed book. Let your results be the only story they read. Lead with honor, but rule with silence. The sauce is ready to pour. Make sure you don't have a leak in your household. Stay sharp, stay disciplined, stay hidden. Peace. To ensure we have fully dismantled the architecture of the relative, let us explore the biological transfer of lack thinking. When you sit with a person who has spent 30 years in a state of financial struggle, they literally radiate the chemicals of stress. This is a biological fact. When you enter their environment and share your high-frequency plans, the low frequency of their stress acts as a dampener. It is like trying to play a beautiful melody in a room where a loud, discordant siren is going off. You cannot hear your own intuition anymore. You start to catch their anxiety. This is why many people feel exhausted after a family gathering. You weren't physically working, but your biological system was filtering the thinking of everyone in the room. This filter has a limited capacity. If you spend that capacity filtering your family's doubt, you have no capacity left to execute your business strategy. You are spending your success on their comfort. Stop the spend. The life strategist knows that his attention is his most valuable currency. If you spend your attention managing your relatives' reactions to your plans, you are bankrupting your own focus. Focus is the only thing that creates wealth in the digital age. A man with absolute focus and a mediocre plan will beat a man with a brilliant plan and no focus every single time. Relatives are the primary focus thieves because they have the permission to interrupt you. Close the door. Revoke the permission. You can love them from a distance of 10% exposure. Give them your heart, but never give them your mind. Your mind is the laboratory where the gold is made. No one enters the laboratory without a security clearance. If they don't have a track record of building wealth, they don't have the clearance. It is that simple. I have seen dynasties rise because the founder kept the inner circle limited to 3 disciplined men and kept the 100 cousins in the outer courtyard of general information. This is how you protect the ordered abundance. If you let the 100 cousins into the inner circle, they will argue, they will doubt, and they will eventually divide the kingdom before it is even built. Keep the gate. Rule your threshold. The infinite is a God of order, and he rewards those who maintain the order of their own environment. Your bank account is waiting for you to stop the leaks. The leaks are in the ears of your relatives. Seal them. Now, your soul is the blueprint, and your life is the construction. This is Sheikh Yusuf, the life strategist. We are building a legacy, and the first brick of the fortress is the brick of silence. Stand your guard. Peace.